Hey friends, my name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to the show. It's Whoop Wednesday. That was the first time outside with the Walksnail 75mm Gemfan 1610 propellered 0802 33,000 kV 1.5mm motor shaft Betaflight AIO build. With these Weebleed 450s. I am not impressed. It feels like it has no power. I'm asking way too much of it. My expectations are way too high. Next time I go out with it, I need to bring a couple other rigs. I've also not flown tiny whoops outside in probably 6 months. Why is this freezing? So yeah, it's just I'm expecting way too much from it. But yeah, it's super disappointing. I tried to fly 3 batteries. One of them has either shit the bed or didn't get charged. Here's what's super interesting. I ran the batteries down pretty good. And they are still above storage voltage. All 3 of them. So the sag is real. Something that I noticed is that I'm using like tons of throttle. Like I'm up like 50-60% throttle all the time. I think this is a part of the problem here. This happened twice. The up tilt keeps slipping upwards. I might just need to put a little bit of welder on here. Once the up tilt goes really high, you start flying it like this, and then there's damn near no thrust going downwards. So it feels really bad when it's stood up like that. With a tiny whoop, you don't want crazy up tilt like that unless you're racing. I mean, for freestyle in general, you kind of don't want mega up tilt like that. Really, Teddy? I guess I'm just gonna let him go crazy. I don't know. Hopefully you guys can't hear that. I have a feeling you can though. So yeah, I was very, yeah. Expectations too high. You know, these 2.5 batteries that I flew will hopefully have. Hey Azalea, can you go see what the hell Teddy's freaking out about? No, you're sleeping. All right, Azalea's asleep on the couch, right over there. Yeah, I left there like super frustrated. I mean, also the runtime was not great. Although, was the runtime? Yeah, no. As soon as the up tilt went bananas, and the up tilt went crazy, like the first hard hit, I just realized like the screws were way too loose. It was all over. It really wasn't. It really wasn't like an actual test at that point. So I got to get back out. I got to charge more than just these 3 batteries up. Get back out and see what's going on with it. So yeah, that was, I was so excited, man. Like, you know, getting out here, gonna fly it. It's gonna be great. And then, I don't know, that first battery was okay. And then the second battery, can't use Loctite on plastic. It eats plastic. The second battery ran for like 4 seconds. And then the third battery was a mix of me flying like an idiot and, oh, I just missed it. NJR, I saw. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome to hell. I mean, welcome to terrificness. Yeah, the third battery, I was just flying horribly. So yeah, I don't know. It might have just been whatever. Again, I've also not flown outside in a while. All that being said, this is the Beta 75 Pro frame, which uses the slightly bigger propellers, 45mm propellers. This is going to get swapped onto this for some testing. I do want to fly this a little bit more outside. So I'm going to charge up all 8 of the 450 mAh batteries that I've got and fly all 8 of them on this. And then I'm going to take this center canopy camera VTX AIO out of this frame with these motors. And I'm just going to drop it into this. And then I'm going to go back out and I'm going to do the same thing. There's a huge weight difference between these two. Yes, this is going to give me more power, but there's also significantly more weight. It was hard. It was really difficult as it was to get this into all those tiny little gaps in the jungle gym. The analog version of this, from what I remember, was way more accurate. So in theory, this is going to make it significantly worse, but I want to find out for sure. So yeah, that is coming very soon, is a little bit of testing with this guy. I'm actually going to put this thing right over here. That was the video off of the goggles, by the way, not off of the DVR, onboard DVR. So yeah, that's coming up. The weather was so nice today, my God. Oh, the weather was all nice. I was all excited, and then I don't know. And then I was sad. Also, somebody messaged me and said, yo, have you tried... So these are the Flywoo 1002 23,500 kV motors. Somebody said, hey, have you tried the RCinpower 1002s? Which I have. I have them... I have the lower kV versions of them on the Tiny Lifter that's designed to pick up the Insta360 Go 2. Whoever this was said that it sounded like, they didn't specifically say this, but it sounded like they've run both these Flywoo motors, and so RCinpower also makes the 1002s. I have the 14,000s. I run them on 2S on that rig. They also sell those 1002s in 22,000 kV. I've never bought that kV because these Flywoos are 23,500, and as we've been talking a ton about, the kV is too low on all these 1002s for 1S. This person said that the RCinpower 22,000 kV 1002s actually made more power for them than the Flywoos. So now I gotta buy another set of motors. So yeah, there's that. Kind of annoying, but whatever. They're not too expensive, and I'll move them. If whichever motors make more power, the other set will go into a giveaway, and I need to buy stuff for the giveaways anyway, so it's totally fine. I've got a bunch of drill bits coming. These are 1.5 millimeter, 10 1.5 millimeter drill bits here. I've also got 20 0.99 millimeter drill bits coming, and then I've got either 5 or 10 pin vices coming. And the pin vices that I have coming are double-sided. So I'm going to take these 1.5 millimeter drill bits, put them on one side, take the 0.99s, put them on the other side, and then you guys can buy them. I got to look at what I paid for all this shit, but yeah, I will be selling sooner than later a pin vise, which is just a little fancy chunk of metal that's designed to hold these tiny little drill bits. Yeah, I'll be selling pin vices with 1.5 and 0.99 millimeter drill bits in them. So regardless of which propeller size you're running, you'll be able to run your props through this thing before you put them onto your motors so that you stop ruining motors. The 0.99 millimeter one is really the important one, but the 1.5 one is important too. Like, it's you're every bit as likely to push one of these 1.5 millimeter motor shafts down through the bell as you are the 1 mil, because the 1 mil, as I recently found out, balloons up to 1.5 mil when it hits the bell. So these 1.5 millimeter motor shaft motors are more durable for sure. In terms of the motor shaft up above the bell not bending, but they're no more durable when it comes to the motor shaft slipping in the bell itself. And so, yeah, we're kind of back to square one to some extent with that. But drilling out your propellers, not drilling them out, just opening them up a tiny little bit, is super straightforward, super simple, kind of can't screw it up. And I've got some stuff coming that'll make that a little bit easier for you. So, huzzah, right? That'll be fun. I don't know what I'm going to sell them for. My guess is going to be between $20 and $30. I got to just look at what I paid for the drill bits and for the pin vices. But yeah, that's coming, so that'll be cool. Tonight we are going to solder up the Walksnail VRX that I removed the heatsink from on Monday's stream, I guess. And put the 65mm rig back together. I decided I'm actually going to pull apart. I'm going to use the frame and motors from the little Freestyle 0702 analog 40,000 kV rig that I've been ripping around. It's just, there's just no reason. There's no reason to have 40,000 kV on an analog rig. It's just a bit much. The Firefly 36,000s are too much as it is, and I have one of those on there. So yeah, I'm gonna pull this thing apart. I do have a second set of these motors, but yeah, 36,000 is plenty for a lightweight analog rig. So yeah, we'll pull these pull this motor and frame off of here, and then I'll take that other AIO and VTX and drop it into this frame with these 40,000 kV motors. Hopefully I haven't beat these motors up too bad so far. I don't think so, because the propellers kind of look fine. So yeah, that's the main thing that we're gonna do tonight. Which I'll start once I get caught up on the super chat, not super chats, on the chat here. Speaking of the chat, get out of there, man. These plugs plug in so nice when they're absolutely brand new. Frank Nicholas was first. Kevin Sumner was next. David 4F, Cole Powers, Tongue Out FPV, Wake and Bake, Mac FPV, Brad Minded, Anonymous, Troy Prelog, Metal Dirt Skin, Hockey Rounds, Freelo, Joe Raging Leap, McConnell Studios, KVA. McConnell Studios, what's happening, brother? Haven't seen you in a while. Glad to have you back. Hope all has been going well. I follow you on Instagram and just absolutely love seeing all the installments that you're doing. So cool. Douglas Otwell, Joe Filmt, Hockey Rounds, Bo Weber, KVA, Soggy Ned, McMucus, Sebi D, Curtis Hayes, Kevin Sumner, Denzel the Terrible, Hockey Rounds again, Curtis Hayes again, Just in Time, Denzel the Terrible, Safe Zone, not applicable, FPV Gray Bush, the grayest bush in all of FPV. Bob Noxious is here. Weebleed is here. What's up, fellas? Mars. Some Guy FPV. Big Fran. Walter. Bo Weber again. Come on. Ohm FPV. AJ FPV. We'll leave it there. What's up, friends? Thanks for coming. CiottiFPV.com is the website where you can support me. Makes a huge difference, and I really appreciate it. Go get you some. Lots of fun stuff going on over there. Patreon helps me out the most, and they take the least cut, and you can get yourself in on some really fun giveaways over there. There's also an Etsy store with some stuff you can buy, some fun stickers and random hardware that might help you on your next build. There's a Fiverr page where you can work one-on-one with me. If you want to do like I've had a couple of people that are on like a weekly kind of recurring thing, and I do discount it a little bit for that. So if you want to meet like every week or every other week, there is a little bit of a discount that I do there. So message me and we'll work it out. You don't have to book me through Fiverr. Fiverr does take a cut. They do protect you. So I mean, if you want to do it through Fiverr, it's totally fine. But don't feel like you have to. You absolutely don't. You can just message me and we'll get it all worked out. Pick a day, pick a time, and away we go. And you'll have access to somebody with almost 8 years of experience in FPV who's been paying attention and being very technical all along the way. So you'll get actual good answers rather than just random info off of Facebook that there's a literal 50-50 chance we'll be right or wrong. Actually, it's probably worse than 50-50. From what I've seen, it's worse than 50-50 on Facebook groups. It's like 80-20. Most of the answers to questions are just straight wrong. It's absolutely outrageous. It drives me mad. But welcome to Facebook, I guess. I am technically back on Facebook, but I am not going to be using it for anything. They are dead to me now. So if you message me on Facebook, I'm not going to see it forever. Not forever. I won't see it for a while though. I'm just not using that website anymore. They can go scratch. They can go straight to hell. There we go. There's my little fresh analog setup. I gotta drop this into another frame. I'll probably I guess I'll wait till those blow up. I was about to say I'll probably drop this into one of the Ultimate Freestyle Tiny Whoops that's kind of struggling with the VTX. I've got that one where the VTX is on its way out. But no, that's silly. I'd rather just run it into the ground. So yeah, this will just wait. This will just sit and wait for... I don't know if I've killed one of those old school Happy Model Mobula 6 AIOs yet. It's kind of ridiculous. The amount of durability that they've shown has been astonishing. So much so that, like, I don't know, the new one seems pretty damn good on the Mobula 6 2024, but unless the new AIO is significantly lighter, I don't know if I'm going to bother buying one, because I have a bunch of these old school AIOs, and like, they're fine. The new AIO, it doesn't have any features that are like any better. It's just gonna be available, which is a hell of a nice feature, I will certainly admit. Ooh! Maybe I put that into a Oh, oh, oh. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this little fella into this little fella. This is a Meteor 75 airframe. Yeah. Because I have those 802 30,000 kV motors. That let's just cut right to it here. Let's just cut right to it. Walksnail and Walksnail and HDZero on a tiny whoop. It's for cinematic stuff. It's not for freestyle. It's just there it is. I said it. Sorry. But that's just it's becoming painfully obvious. Like proper the Walksnail system image quality is phenomenal. Quad City Barrier. Thanks for the super chat, homie. I'll read your comment in a second. The image quality of Walksnail is fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but the latency and how heavy it is, and from what I've heard from a bunch of people, how fragile it can sort of be. It's not it. It's not it. It's not the way to go. HDZero has the latency thing figured out. God knows if it's fragile. What's happening here? Why won't this go into this frame? What's going on? Oh, wow, okay. Apparently I'm not going to do this. The spot where the camera plug is on the Mobula 6 AIO is right on top of one of the supports for the battery tray. So yeah, you cannot run this AIO in the Meteor 75 airframe. So this AIO will be going into a Mobula 7 V4 frame because it works totally fine in there. That's good to know. I wonder if I bet you the X12 wouldn't fit in here either. Interesting. And yeah, I can't just rotate it because it's this right here. It's this part right here that is in the exact same spot as the camera plug. That's a shame. I will. Okay. This frame will just wait for a new home. Oh god. Yeah, no, this will be cool. This way I'll be able to test 30,000 kV versus 27,000 kV for the analog outdoor builds, and that's actually really cool. I'm actually kind of excited about that. Except for the fact that apparently I don't have another Mobula 7 V4 frame. Is that real? Is this really happening to me right now? I guess I used it on the newbie drone build, so I guess I'll have to... Great. More pulling stuff apart. I'm going to have to pull apart the newbie drone build, which is right here. And yeah, the newbie drone board does not have a camera plug in that same spot. The camera plug is on top. So yeah, newbie drone hummingbird build will go into the, actually makes a lot of sense, will go into the Meteor 75 airframe. I also want to, I just want to crash the shit out of these Meteor 75 airframes. In 3 batteries, the clear Meteor 75 airframe is already showing the creasing that happens on these beta FPV frames. You see it there? Right in the middle? That ain't supposed to be there. That's where this frame, that's like the weak point of this frame. So when I smash into stuff, that's where it's folding. And if this is anything like the Meteor 65 airframe, this isn't going to last very long. So that's super disappointing. But if I have to move this Walksnail build back to a Meteor Mobula 7 V4 frame, that's fine. The Mobula 7 V4 frame is great. It's only a 1 gram penalty, weight penalty. So yeah, if I have to move that build over, it's totally fine. But yeah, so far not looking super great for this Meteor 75 airframe. But I don't know, maybe it's fine. Maybe it's yeah, I don't know. I gotta crash it a bunch more to actually figure anything out. Yay! Crashing! Hooray for destruction! So yeah, that's the plan, my friends. So this needs to come out of here and go into this. So I'll put them right over here. Yeah, that'll be cool. And then I'll have four different 75mm rigs that I can go to these jungle gyms and just kind of dial in on to see if yeah, what's the ultimate combo. It's probably for the analog rigs. I don't think that you need to do all the insanity that I did and pull 2 sets of motors apart to get more than 27,000 kV. I'm super happy with the existing Jungle Gym Basher, which is just a Mobula 7 ELRS with a motor swap. And these are the iGao 0802 27,000 kV motors with the 1.5mm motor shaft. Swap it over to BT 2.0, and that's pretty much it. Right now it's got this Foxeer Razor camera on it, but I am looking forward to getting this back onto a Runcam Nano camera, which I did snag a couple of. I was doing an order somewhere, and they're selling these NanoHawk replacement cameras, which are the Runcam Nano 3, but with bare wires, which is kind of annoying. I'm going to have to solder on the correct connector for these, but it's not the end of the world. So, yeah, more. I've been dying to get a couple more Nano 3s, so now I got them, which is great. Oh, it was the order that I did from GetFPV to get the correct motors for the... what was that? Oh, look at that little OBS menu. That's pretty cool. Oh, that's not an OBS menu. I updated system software not too long ago, and there's all kinds of extra stuff that I didn't even know existed. What was I just going to show you? I was going to show you something. What was I going to show you? Farts! Forget what it was. Must not have been that important. I'll think of it at some point. So yeah, I've got a couple of 75mm rigs that I can really figure out what the hell's going on at the jungle gyms, and I'll report back. Cool. In the chat, if you want to talk directly to me, all you got to do is type CiottiFPV. If you do that, it'll light up an orange. If you don't do that, it won't, and I won't read it. Bo Weber typed, "What's up, CiottiFPV and the rest of the gangly gang?" Hockey Round says, CiottiFPV HDZero managed to get rid of the MIPI cable with the Eco VTX. They did indeed. I wish they'd figured out a way to reduce the weight of the whole system, but it is great that they're not using that MIPI cable. That's awesome. Kevin Sumner says that's what she said. Frank Nicholas says that's what she said. I wonder what I said. Oh, it was 30 minutes ago. Holy crap. Bob Knox is in the house. He says, you need to come to Anderson and hit some of these bandos. It's hard for me to travel, man. There's a lot going on around here. How far is Anderson? Is that like 3 hours, probably? Maybe after or before Castle Crash, possibly? Metal Dartskin says, so it wasn't just me. It looked like it was flying like a Greyhound bus. Yeah, I'm trying not to be too judgmental today, but it just felt awful. Look, I've only ever flown the analog rigs at the jungle gyms. And so that's what I had to go off of. And they're a lot lighter, a lot lighter, right? Like an extra 6 grams, even though it's a 75, 6 extra grams is 6 extra grams. Here, let's see. So the previous one, the analog build, is 24.3 grams. This guy is, yeah, see, 30.75. So yeah, huge weight difference. I'm trying to keep this thing as light as possible because shooting those little gaps in the jungle gym is really difficult. So all of the, I've made all of the sacrifices to keep this thing lightweight, and tried to get power out of it. We'll see. I don't know. I was not happy today, but again, like the Walksnail 65mm rigs, they fly like ass compared to the 65mm analog rigs. So yeah, I have to understand that and respect that, and stop being a unrealistic anus. That's the name of my band in high school, the Unrealistic Anuses. It's the name of my sex tape, Unrealistic Anus. Melted Urchin says, no, we got that. Kevin Sumner says, I thought that was my dogs. Tedward! Here, for anybody that didn't catch the intro, here's what I'm talking about. This is the very first battery ever. This is the only battery that actually like held up all that well. The second battery was like straight up dead. The third battery, I was just flying like a complete idiot. Come on now. There we go. Hold on. Okay. Just make sure the mic's working. Yeah, the mic's working. So yeah, you'll see at some point in the bottom left corner, bottom left, bottom right, you can see the ducts in view. At some point, the ducts will go out of view. That's when the up tilt changed on its own because the screws were kind of loose. But realistically, for something that I'm going to be slamming really hard like this, yeah, see, they're already starting to go away. That it already now has a bunch more up tilt. Yeah, the right duct is completely gone. The left duct, you can just barely see it. And now it's probably all the way gone. Yeah, I don't know. It was very hard to fly. It felt super underpowered. But look, like out here, you know, I'm trying to throw it like 30 feet in the air. You don't do that in the house. In the house, you throw it 8 feet in the air, and there's a huge difference there. So yeah, I was able to do some stuff. Like I'm getting through here, but it did not feel anything like the analog rigs. Which again is asking a lot, but that's the goal. The goal is to have something that flies really good. And like, look, maybe, and I'm kind of starting to think this, that like Walksnail is not for freestyle. In Tiny Whoop land, Walksnail might be for cinematic Tiny Whoop stuff, right? Like with 3-inch, for example, when we put a big heavy camera on it, what was that runtime? That was shit runtime, 2 minutes. With 3-inch rigs, right? When we put a big heavy camera on them, they become cinewhoops. And they fly like ass. 5-inch is really the only platform. It's the smallest platform that you can put a big heavy camera on, and it has enough power and authority and prop size to have a nice balance. It really might just be that if you want to go digital on a tiny whoop, it becomes a cinewhoop. It becomes a tiny little cinewhoop. That's okay. That's totally fine, right? Like, freestyle is not about image quality. Freestyle is about what you're doing. You're freestyling. You're shooting gaps. The flying is what's interesting, not necessarily the footage. Not necessarily the quality of the footage. All right. So yeah, I mean, if that's where we're at, that's totally fine. And then HDZero is sort of somewhere in between for like racing, I guess. But still, like, you know, it's got that extra 5+ grams, which kind of turns it into a cinewhoop again. I don't want to admit this. I really want to have Walksnail Freestyle rig, but it's not looking great. Maybe this becomes the Walksnail Freestyle rig, maybe, because it had for indoor stuff. I don't know. It's a little too heavy for indoor stuff. When I fly it around here, it feels like a brick shithouse. But yeah, I don't know. I got to do more testing. I dove headlong into all of this 75 Walksnail testing to just figure the power situation out, which is great. I learned a ton, and a lot of stuff that I didn't expect to happen happened, and that's fine. Now that the weather is starting to cooperate, I get to actually test, right? Like, I've only been able to test inside the house, which is not a good place. It's way too small for something that's being built to rail around jungle gyms, which, you know, like when you think of a jungle, like we could build a jungle gym inside of this room, but then we want to sail up over the damn thing, right? And like an 8-foot, or ceilings 8 feet? Ceilings are 8 feet, I think, right? An 8-foot ceiling versus a 16-foot ceiling is a massive difference, right? And like, so a jungle gym, you throw yourself up over the jungle gym, you're going 15, 20 feet up. So yeah, it's a big change in the space that you're flying it in. So yeah, I don't know, I didn't like respect that in some weird way. But yeah, we'll see. Metal says, I had a whoop with the camera sticking way out of the canopy like that. It was no bueno. Is that the Mobula HD canopy on the 75? It is not. No, the Mobula HD canopy is impossibly fragile. Having the camera sticking out like this is... it's a wing and a prayer. Basically, the Mobula 6 canopy is incredibly durable. It's the lightest and most durable canopy I've ever found. So, and if you look at like the angles that this thing could hit, right? So like when you crash it, most situations that you crash it in, it's going to hit the canopy. There's only this one absolutely perfect, dead on the front, perfectly even hit that's going to hit the camera itself. So I'm banking on crashing around here where the canopy is going to be really strong rather than nosing it in. There are other canopies that work with these Walksnail light cameras, but none of them are as light as this one. And so, yeah, I'm going for it with this one. There is now a McStinky mount, TPU McStinky mount for the Walksnail light camera. So yeah, I might try that one at some point here. The only thing I'm worried about is the McStinkies wrap around the front here, and there's a UFL port on the front for the antenna. And so what's going to happen is the McStinky, and this happens on the regular Mobula 6 analog boards, is that the McStinky ends up sitting a little bit sideways like that because the UFL port is slightly offset. So yeah, I'm going to leave it with the Mobula 6 canopy, and just, yeah, every time I crash perfectly vertical or back here or on the sides or even up into the front quarter, it's going to be fine. I just got to try to not absolutely perfectly center something right down the middle. Even if I do, the mount and the setup, they move a little bit. So even if I smack something here, in theory, the camera will just give and kind of the lens will just sort of push down. Also, a bunch of these, 2 or 3 of these have the old school. I don't know which ones are which, but they've got the old school Walksnail light cameras. Apparently the new V3 Walksnail light camera is better. So if I start killing these, I'll get to replace them with the V3. I wonder if there's a way that you can tell the cameras apart. This one here is probably one of the old ones. It looks exactly the same. It's probably just a software change. You know what I mean? feel like it's always just a software change. So yeah, there's that. CMYK says, yo, what's up? And scrolling back up here. Brad Bond says, I drilled out props to fit 2mm shafts. If using the T-mount screws, is there still a chance of unbalancedness? Yeah, for sure. Anytime you drill propellers out, there's a chance that they're going to go out of balance. The best you can possibly do is to drill in steps. So if you have a propeller with a 1.5mm shaft, you want to try to get a 1.6mm drill bit, 1.7, 1.8, 1.9, 2.0. You can probably find a kit. And then you're going to drill it 1.5 first, because it is going to remove a little bit of material, and then 1.6, 1.7, 1.8, 1.9, 2.0. It's a super pain in the ass, but that's the best way to hopefully keep it from being centered. If you just go straight to 2.0, it's going to be... It might be fine. FPV Cycle actually used to sell a very cool little kit. See if it, yeah, there it is. 2mm prop hole kit. This has been sold out for a long time. I would say just hit notify me when available and put your email address in here. This little setup holds the propeller perfectly centered, so that when you drill it out, you're drilling it out centered. So yeah, here comes the link to this little kit. This would fix that problem for you. It would help that problem. Bob Noxious with the CiottiFPV.com link. Thank you, dude. Brad Bond then also says, how do you get DVR of Walksnail goggles? I've put SD in both my Mac and Linux, and it says can't read even though I can play back to the goggles and format it in Google. I have had no problems. I don't know what to say. Yeah, I haven't had any problems with mine. I haven't had any of those issues. You mentioned that last time, Brad, and I've been paying attention. Or no, somebody said they were having that issue with their HDZero goggles, and I've had no problem with those as well. So yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I'm not a computer guy either, so I really don't know how to help there. It sounds like a computer issue. Maybe format the card, and maybe it's a weird format. Look up what format Walksnail wants the memory card to be in. FAT32, or I don't know, there's a bunch of other ones. And Anonymous says, my Mobula 6 starts to drift forward about 10 seconds into the flight. I think it might be a gyro/accelerometer issue. It would only be an accelerometer issue if that were happening in angle or horizon mode. If you're in acro, it can't be an accelerometer problem. It would have to be a gyro problem. And yeah, I mean, if you're hovering it and it just noses down on its own, it could also be a transmitter problem. Check your fly one or two other rigs and see if they do it. If your transmitter gimbals are shot and they're like accidentally sending a little bit of pitch forward, that could be the issue. The easiest way to troubleshoot that is to just fly another rig and see if it does it. And if it doesn't do it, it's not your transmitter. Or you can go in the simulator. You can even, in the sim, you can put your stick overlay on the screen, and you can just stare at your stick overlay to see if you get any weird like little jitters or anything like that. KVA says, new to the hobby, just built my first tiny whoop, but 2 motors will turn the wrong way about 1 in every 4 times I arm it. Any thoughts? What the hell? That's super weird. Sometimes if you go into turtle mode and then come out of turtle mode really fast and rearm it, some weird shit like that will happen. So yeah, but that's super strange. I can't possibly imagine that that's a software issue, which unfortunately means that it's a hardware issue. And with tiny whoops, they're built with these all-in-one flight controllers, ESC flight controller, receiver, VTX, all-in-one. And so if anything goes, you got to replace the entire thing. So yeah, that is super weird. 2 of the 4. That's the weirdest thing, is that only 2 of the motors are turning the wrong way. That's super strange, man. At least it's only 1 in every 4 times. You know, just smash through, and eventually you'll kill it, and you'll replace it with one that almost certainly doesn't do that. That's weird, man. Quad City Barry with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, brother. He says, your opinion is analog still better for bando's penetration versus digital? I care for penetration, not long range. No, I think digital does a better job, especially in bandos, right? Bandos are multipath hell. And even with rapid fire, analog still struggles bad with multipathing. So yeah, for bandos, I would rather be on digital. And I also feel like milliwatt for milliwatt digital, which is an unfair comparison, but you know, you buy a 700 milliwatt analog VTX, you set your DJI to 700 milliwatts. I always get more range on DJI than analog. Apparently that's because when you set digital to 700 milliwatts, it actually goes ham, and so yeah, that's where you're getting the extra range. But yeah, more raw. I seem to get more raw range out of digital, but at the same time, once you start to push range with digital, if you push it a little bit too far, it black screens and you're screwed. Whereas analog gradually breaks up more and more and more and more until you can't quite see enough. And then you can, you know, if you're flying like this and that happens, you can just do this and come right back to where you were and get enough video quality back to then turn around and come home or whatever. So yeah, it's if you're looking for that extra tiny little bit of range, I think digital's the way to go. Also, at bandos, multipathing is a nightmare. So if I was going to fly a lot of like 5-inch freestyle at bandos, I would seriously consider digital, even though I'm still on the analog train. I still feel more comfortable flying analog. The lower latency, the more gradual breakup. But that's not necessarily what you asked, right? You asked about penetrating. So yeah, I think digital is actually going to outperform analog, but I'm just still more comfortable on analog. So there's that. Bob Noxious says, are you coming to Castle Crash? I'm indeed. CMYK with the Discord link. Oh, yeah. CMYK asked me about this earlier. Oh, this is in troubleshooting. Let me pull it up on my actual Discord here. All right. Link to my Discord over on CiottiFPV.com. Troubleshooting corner. Let's take a look here. So this is a new one for me. All new hardware, fresh build 6 months ago. Could this be a grounding issue? It only flickers when I power on my transmitter. Okay. So transmitter being powered on.
Welcome to HDZero.
Oh yeah, look at that. My guess is you've got them sitting too close to one another. Power the transmitter on across the room. See if it still does that. I think the transmitter is... I think maybe your transmitter is on a really high power setting, and it's just donkey raping that that VRX that's sitting right next to it. So yeah, power your transmitter up on the other side of the room. See if it still does that. I bet you it won't. I bet you it's just, yeah, hammering like hell. This is also the rig that CMYK said last time he flew it was having crazy oscillation problems. So yeah, this could certainly be related. So it's a Crossfire Nano. So the Crossfire Nano is there. I'm thinking about now. I'm trying to think about like antenna placement. Let's open this picture up a little bit bigger. Nah, you got plenty of separation between the antennas. So that shouldn't be it. There is a capacitor here. That's great. Yeah, I think you're on a wild goose hunt. I think you just had your transmitter right next to the VRX. What else could it be? Transmitter comes on, crossfire fires up, signal comes in here, goes through there, goes up into the flight controller, video system. Interesting. That's what I think. Try it. You should be able to try it like nowish and get back to us. Interesting stuff. Freelojo dropping the Patreon link. Thank you, dude. Bob Noxious says, are you still holding on to any iFlight 1504s? If so, want to let a few go. I do have a bunch of them, actually. I think I have 2 full sets, but I'm hanging on to them. Those are just such a unique motor, and I there's gonna be a build at some point here that's the absolute perfect motor for. It might be, they might end up going on to a Quadmula 3-inch rig, as just like a gnarly 260, 250 gram freestyle setup. So yeah, sorry, dude. I just, it was hard for me to find those after they disappeared, and it was just like a miracle to find a bunch. And I bought, I forget where I ended up finding them, but I bought all of them that they had. So yeah, I'm gonna be a hoarder. Ask me again in a while, though. Ask me again in a while. There's a chance that I won't use them. I won't feel bad about you asking me every few months. But yeah, those are a very unique motor. And they're a good KV. They're a good size. They run nice and smooth. And I really like the way that they feel. They feel very similar to 2306s, which is what I like about them. And I don't think anybody's making a 1504 at the time and anymore. And they're also a really good KV. The T-Motor Pacer 1604 is damn close. Yeah, nobody's making a 1504 at the moment. Oh, I thought I saw. No, Darwin FPV. There you go. Darwin FPV is making a 1504. And they're oh, yo, 3800 kV. Look at you. What the fuck? What? Why? What? Why? What is that? Is that for the Avata? What in the shit is going on with this? Hold on. I wouldn't think that a 1504 is big enough for an Avata. What did they make it a... what? 3600 kV is actually a little bit more than the iFlight 1504s. Whoa, what? $7? Yo. Talk about a bando basher motor. Holy Christ. $7? That's incredible. Get these, dude. And beat the living shit out of them. $7? Damn. Yeah. Oh, wait, no. Same materials, DJI. Why do they make a 3-bolt version of this? That's super weird. Wish they mentioned it somewhere. They probably do mention it somewhere. Weird. Here's the iFlight thing. Oh, yeah, that's right. 3900 kV. Yeah. That's the other reason I really like them. 3900 kV. Man, those Darwin motors, though. $7. I think there is another 1504 out there. It might have been that Darwin, but I could have sworn I saw a 1504 not too long ago. These are discontinued here, these Brother Hobbies. These are very fragile anyway. You don't want these. All that being said, the T-Motor 1404s, here they are. The T-Motor 1404s are really, really good, and they make a lot of power. It's AMAX. Yeah, I knew that I'd seen another high-quality 1504 recently. Oh my god, look at these KVs. I did not see this. Yo! These are what you need to get, my friend. Look at these different KVs. That's insane. 6,000 kV would be amazing. A bit much. 6,000 kV, you'd run these on 3S, basically. 6,000 kV on 3S is the equivalent of 4S 4,000 kV, which they also have. I would get these in either 4,000 kV or 4,700. If you get them in 4,700 kV, you're going to have to motor limit them down a little bit for 4S. Yeah, AMAX makes phenomenal motors too. Really, really, really. I want to say they're German. And, you know, the Germans make good everything. Look at how thick these magnets are too. This is probably a great motor. Oh, and it's got their crazy AMAX lock bell thing going on. That's really cool. Yeah, dude, you got to get these AMAX motors. Look how cool these are. How thick is the motor shaft? Oh my god, they've got a motor screw on the bottom. Oh, AMAX, I love you so hard. It's at least a 2mm motor shaft. They're probably not going to call it out, but it's worth looking real quick. 1.5 up top. Yeah, no, they're not calling it out. Ooh. I want to get me a set of these now. Shit. Look at those KVs. Holy Christ. 3,000, 3,500, 4,000, 4,700, 5,500, 6,000. AMAX. Thank you. Holy crap. Thank you. Rubber. Oh my god, it's set up like a 5-inch where it's got the rubber O-ring between the bell and the stator. Holy cow, man. Fancy looking motor too. Longer thread hole, cooling fins, super tight air gap. I can take that or leave it. Curved magnets for the win. They don't look like curved magnets. Maybe they are. Damn. Yo. That's incredible. I don't know what the ordering process is going to be like from AMAX. I'm assuming they're going to ship from the German land. But man, that's hot shit right there. Again, the T-Motor 1404s are damn good too. And they sell them in 4,600 kV, and you motor limit them down a little bit. J. Deeg says the Goober frame works with the Walksnail light cam. Awesome. 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 Wait. Goober frame. Goober canopy. Goober canopy. Goober. Yeah. Yes. The only problem with the Goober canopy is it's a little bit heavy and it's kind of brittle. It puts a lot of pressure on the rear post, the rear mounting post. So I've moved away from the Goober canopy. That's great that it fits that though. The more canopies that fit the Walksnail light, the better, obviously. Northern Tier says I mounted mine the same way. The screws on the light cam lined up with the Nano 3 mount. Yep. Limit says, what screw length do you need for the Walksnail builds? Where do you get them? And also, is it M1 screws? They are M1.2. And I like M1.2 by 12. I got a pack of like 20 of them from eBay, actually. If you search eBay for M1.2 X12 screws, you'll find them. And yeah, they're long enough to go down through the canopy, through the Walksnail VTX grommets, through the AIO grommets, and they sink down into the posts a good amount, so they seem to be pretty strong. M1.2 by 12 is what you need. Brad Bondon says, I've been on the notify for that 2mm drill rig for 6 months. Yeah, sorry, dude. Sucks. I'm pretty sure he's just not having more made. Cold Front and Penguin says, been seeing a few instances people putting smaller blades on their quads than what's recommended. What's up with that? Beneficial? Yeah, people have been doing that forever. You know, people do that, and then they go, wow, this feels so much better. And then they fly it a bunch, and they realize that it feels different. It doesn't feel better. So, yeah, it's... If you're gonna push the motors out, and you're gonna spend the extra weight and make that longer lever, and then you might as well run the biggest possible propeller, so that where they're damn near touching in the middle. If you want to run smaller propellers, run shorter arms, because that's gonna pull that weight in, right? Like if you spin around with your arms out and then you pull your arms into the center, you spin faster. You know, you don't want to put your arms way out and then put the motors on them and put teeny little propellers. So yeah, people do that, and it feels different, and everybody confuses different with better, but they come around typically after flying it for a little. Actually, what happens is they fly it for a while, and they're like, man, this is so much better, and then they go back to the old setup, and they're like, oh. No, it's not. Metadertson says, important historical fact, 243 years ago today, my anus was discovered. I'm that old, friends. Bob Noxious says, you suck. CMYK says, happens when I fly, though, which is new to me. It happens when you fly as well. Could the receiver be bad? It's either the receiver or the VTX. It's one or the other. That's if it's happening when you fly. I don't know if I would blame. I'm trying to think if it's like more likely that it's one than the other. I can't think of it being more likely one than the other. You just gotta close your eyes and point and pick one. Replace either the VTX or the. I mean, it's a crossfire receiver, so maybe put a ELRS in it. Maybe this is an excuse to put a ELRS in there. You know, I hate changing stuff out. Like I hate when I build like the perfect thing and something doesn't work and I have to change the same thing, right? Like change a Crossfire Nano for another Crossfire Nano. That feels like such a fail. If it's like, well, I was thinking about going to ELRS anyway, it's like, perfect, switch that. If that doesn't fix the problem, you're back to where you were. But yeah, I always try to change something that's an actual change rather than swapping out the same exact thing. Bob Noxious says, you got me hooked on them. I have one new set, but 3 used sets. Jesus, you got a bunch. Kmart FPV with a $10 super chat. He says, hope you're well. Ciotti Bureau's on me. Thank you so much, Kmart. Very cool of you. Just supporting the madness. Much appreciated. 661 says, take the quad apart and rearrange the components. It will go away. Sometimes that is the truth. I pulled that picture of CMYK's quad up, and the build looks pretty clean. And he's done a bunch of builds in Ripsqueak frames before. So he's probably found a method of stacking the components that is working, I'm assuming. But yeah, sometimes you can just have like the receiver sitting perfectly wrong on the VTX or vice versa. And it can cause weird shit to happen. So, before you go desoldering anything, take the components and put some space between them. Cut the zip ties off that you have holding your receiver and VTX package down, more than likely, and just separate those two things by even just like an inch and see if the problem persists. Night Owl FPV says, are you going to Rampage again this year? Any plans for Micro Mayhem? Yes and yes. The plans are pretty much the same as last year. Although, what I do want to do, if you guys remember, like where we were flying from, right? All the pipes and shit was in front of us. To the left and behind and up the stairs, there was like a little concrete room in the back corner. In that concrete room, I'm going to set up my Tiny Whoop cubes. I had the Tiny Whoop cubes out in the main area last year, and you can't get these Tiny Whoop cubes anymore, and they're just amazing, and I love them. And I told people, like, hey, please be gentle on these tiny whoop cubes. They're mine personally. They're not Rotor Riot's. They weren't bought by Rotor Riot either. And 2 of my cubes got all mangled from people flying bigger, like 2-inch, 2.5-inch, 3-inch rigs, which kind of pissed me off. But I mean, it's, yeah, whatever. So I'm going to keep my cubes up in that corner room, and that'll be like a 65mm tight technical spot to fly little tiny rigs. And hopefully that'll prevent my cubes from getting wrecked anymore. So yeah, that's, other than that, same kind of stuff. If I get a little bit of budget from them, I do want to buy more of the big lights, the big bright lights that we had, and we're gonna do less, which is good because most of them have been broken by now by the same people flying the bigger rigs. Most of those rope lights have just eaten shit. So I'm not gonna buy any more of those. It's just gonna be the big lights. That location, there's more than enough to do with all of those pipes and shit. We don't have to add stuff with rope lights. It's just a cool spot. It's just a matter of getting light in there so that we can see where the hell we're going, because there's some really dark spots. So yeah, it's going to be about throwing cool colored lights at that location. Other than that, yeah, it'll be fun. It was a blast last year. Good Lord. T-Bird's in the house. What's up, homie? He says something that makes me uncomfortable. Hat Tricks with a 5 Canadian Californian dollar super chat. Thank you, homie. He says, best 000kv replacement motor for the Meteor Pro. Meteor Pro. Which Meteor? Oh. Confused why they used 1102 to begin with, while other 45mm props use 802. I haven't seen any 45mm props on 802s. I would think 802s would be a little bit too small for the bigger 45mm propellers. I like 802s on the 1.6-inch props, but on the slightly bigger 45mm propellers, 1002s really seem to come alive. 1102 is a little bit too big, but close, very close. Best high kV replacement motor. I would go with either the Flywoo 1002 23,500, or if the person that commented on one of the recent videos is correct, the RCinpower 1002 22,000 kV motor. Yeah, those are the two highest. Well, technically, the highest kV 1002 available is the Hype Train Dime 24,000 kV motor. I kind of wish I hadn't sold my set now, because maybe they're made by RCinpower, and maybe they make a bunch more power than the Flywoos, but they didn't have motor connectors on them, so go to hell. So yeah, those are the 3 highest kV 1002s. You definitely don't need 1102s on a 45mm prop. 1002 is plenty. Limit says, thanks, mate. You're certainly welcome. Night Owl FPV says, what size are the washer screws that come with some Whoop flight controllers? Washer screws? Oh. Yeah, the screws that have like a big flat head on them. They're also M1.2. They're just a different length. They're hard to find. I have a couple of those that I use in some of these builds. I think I'm actually out. I don't think I have any of them left. So I can't do any more builds because I don't have any more of those screws. Some guy FPV says, I think my expectations are too high for Walksnail on a 65mm rig. I want it to fly like it's 17, 18 grams, and it's just not going to happen. Yeah, no. On the 65mm rigs, yeah, they're never going to fly like a 17, 18 gram rig. I was really hoping that the 65mm Walksnail build that I had on the 36,000 kV 702s, it was way better than I thought flying around the house here. And I was hoping to have the same experience with this. I was hoping this would be way better than I thought, but it ended up being way worse than I thought, which I think is why I was so disappointed today. But yeah, I don't know. It just needs a lot more power. I don't know, man. I don't know about 75mm rigs. It's just like, every single time, it feels like every single time I fly a 75mm rig, it just lets me down. I just don't get it. I guess with this thing, I'll bring this with me too, that we're going to start working on a little bit here, and see how it is. Classically, the 65mm rigs outdoors get kicked around too hard by the wind, but hell, 40,000 kV motors. The problem is going to be I'm going to rip these batteries to shreds. Like these 300 mAh batteries on 40,000 kV motors outside, I'm going to get like 1 minute runtime and the battery is going to just get so hot that it melts. So yeah, it's probably not a great idea, but I'll definitely try it because what the hell. CMYK dropping the CiottiFPV.com link. Thank you, dude. And Steve Jobs back from the grave says, what KV should I use for 0802 on 35mm props? All up weight is 35 grams. That's heavy. As much KV as you can possibly get. The highest KV motors that you can get are 33,000, and those are absolutely what I would recommend for that rig. All up weight is 35. Okay, that's still pretty heavy. Yeah, I've not had any luck with those 35mm propeller builds. But if you're hellbent on doing it, yeah, you want the most possible KV, which is the Ipomtura or Imoptura. Unfortunately, they're sold out at the moment, but they're on tinywhoop.com, 0802, 33,000 KV. 30,000 kV might be enough. I did a couple of live streams. What did I run? I don't remember what kV I ran. Hold on, let me see. So if we go to here and we go Meteor 65 Pro, a year ago. Here we go. This is the live stream that you want to watch. Oh, I've done it a bunch, actually. Yeah, not a bunch, but I've done it a couple times. Hold on, let me see. Let's see how good the... let's see how good Apache Smoke's timestamps are. Okay. Well, either this... Oh, okay. So this is not the one that you want. Well, yeah, no. I mean, you've got an analog rig. I built it with 0802 25,000 kV motors here because those are what comes on the Hummingbird V3.
Should do.
And then
pull these brand new.
Shut up! And then I built it on much higher kV motors here in this stream. Meteor 65 Pro plus Walksnail equals Freestyle Nirvana. I built it on much higher kV motors here, but it was dragging around the Walksnail VTX. So, yeah. That first stream, you can get an idea of what it'll fly like on 802 25,000s. This stream, it's not going to really help you out, I don't think, because I'm dragging around an extra 6 grams here. So, yeah. But between those two streams, I talk about it a bunch. So, I think that first stream, though, is the one that you want to check out. Steve Jobs says... Wait, no, hold on. Yeah, Steve Jobs says, will that be okay for a 5-amp ESC? It's heavy because it's an HDZero build. Oh, okay. So definitely watch that second stream. That Walksnail stream is exactly what you want to watch because HDZero builds way what Walksnail builds way. So yeah, that second stream, watch that one for sure. 5-amp ESC will be totally fine. We aren't coming close to the limits of the 5-amp ESCs yet. Some guy FPV says, any idea when the 40,000 kV motors will be for sale? No clue. Mothy says, considering just getting the 30,000 kV from Tiny Whoop, should I wait to see if the 33s come back in stock? I mean, they'll definitely come back in stock. No clue how long it'll be. The 30s are great. The 33s are nuts, though. I would actually wait for the 33s, to be really honest. I've had 802 30,000 kV motors for a long time, and they never blew me away. Those 33s melted my brain. I think that they might be manufactured using newer, more powerful magnets or tighter air gap or something like that because they were nutty. and I can't say that about the 30,000s. I've always been disappointed by the 802 30,000s. If I'm completely honest. So yeah, and I'll be able to actually revisit that. The motors that I'm going to build this extra Jungle Gym basher with is going to get these 30,000 kV 802 hybrid motors that I built. And I'm going to back-to-back it against 802 27,000s. So yeah, if the 30,000s don't make more power than the 27s, then yeah, the 802 30,000s are so old that they're just, I don't know, something weird's going on. Bob Noxious says, I got to hang out with some guy FPV today. Cool dude and a car guy too. Nice. Hell yeah. You guys are local, I'm guessing. All right, we're good. Caught up on chat. Let's build. Let's get this 65mm Walksnail build going. It's been far too long. Mothi says, have you flown your 75mm Walksnail rig on one of the 450 folded cell batteries? Yep. Those are the batteries that I fly on all these 75 rigs. They're great batteries. I think I hurt one of them though. But more testing coming. Northern Tier says, liking the new Newbie Drone V3 65mm frame. It's the best in my opinion. Used it for snail walk donkey build. Used 702 26,000s. 1 million kV will be in stock in 2 weeks. It won't stay in stock for long though. All right, here we go. Hey, look at that. The camera actually looks decent. What is this? Why is this? What is this doing here? What happened there? That was weird. How long's that been in the middle of the screen like that? What the shit? Okay. Is it like that on this one too? No, this one's fine. Hold on, let me get in the same spot. Oh, boy, is that satisfying. I think it's still moving a little bit. There it is. Perfect! Okay, let's see if I ruined this VTX by getting the by removing the heat shield using a prying force rather than buying plastic X-Acto blades and cutting around the outside, which is the way that apparently I should have done it. So, okay. I need to get some of this shit out of the way. So first comes the camera, and I'm gonna have to. I don't have to, but I'm gonna switch the camera out of this smoke crotch canopy into a clear canopy. At some point, this build is gonna get put it's gonna get put into a cocker trim, but at some point, this build is gonna use the bottom posts. I'm talking to Newbie Drone about getting my hands on a little 3D print that they've got that goes through this battery bay and hangs the battery down the bottom here. And that'll give me enough space to put one of these into the bottom. I guess the AIO on the underside. That'll be really cool. I'm looking forward to that for sure. Bob Bruce ran out of props for 65s. Broke the crown frame of one of the duck supports. Broken the front side, front left. Jesus. This guy's crashing hard. Good job, brother. Keep it up. All right, I gotta get the nerd goggles at this point because everything is just too small. I think I'm losing my vision. I think I'm gonna be blind in 10 minutes. All right, somebody type this into the chat for me. From left to right, it's white, gray, black, red. Left to right, white, gray, black, red. I'm going to just desolder. Whoopsie, that's too much flux. I'm just going to desolder the existing Walksnail VTX, and take a look at the wire runs and then just line them up with the other one and run the wires exactly the same, because this is totally fine where I had these wire runs going. Okay, so yeah, there was a little bit of extra cable. The ground cable was a little bit too short, so I am going to leave the ground cable a little bit longer. But yeah, let's just get it. Let's just go for it. Here we go. Desoldering. 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 I guess I'm going to send this VTX back to Walksnail and see if they'll fix it. Apparently they will. Apparently they be fixing stuff. Pretty cool. I never expect companies to actually fix anything anymore. Sad state that we're in. What happened to people fixing shit, man? We still fix stuff. Just a lot less often. Right, why fix it when you can just buy something brand new? An upgrade! Everybody always wants to upgrade. Everybody needs to upgrade. What's wrong with the shit that you got right now, yo? Be happy with what you got right now. It's probably really nice. Okay. Alright, sweet. So the ground wire needs to stay a little bit longer than it currently is, than it is on this one, I should say. All the rest of the wires are kind of fine, but the ground wire needs to stay a little bit longer. So let's figure that out. I'm going to stretch these wires out as long as they'll go. Actually, no, I'm going to fold them in the way that I fold them. So, okay, fold them under here, and a zombie just awokened on the couch. Oh, they're back down. She dead. Azalea died, friends. She lived. She died like she lived. Like a champion. Okay, so here we go. This is how I'm going to kind of like half-ass measure them. There's a chance that these cables are too short on here. Nah, they're fine. Oh my god, I'm going to have to move these grommets over. Brought to you by Carl's Jr. Oh my god. Mothi says, I built my Walksnail into that. Oh no, we got that. I already talked about that. Did somebody type that into the chat? Oh, Night Owl, you son of a bitch. Night Owl says, weren't you going to keep the wires on the flight controller and just unsolder from the VTX? That would have been great. Although Walksnail puts this liquid electric tape over the tops of the thing, so I'll use that as my excuse. But man, I should have done that. That would have been way easier. Quack, quack, motherfuckers! Azalea, go to bed. It's 9:30. Sorry. Tomorrow night, Last of Us. It begins. Cool? Sorry we didn't play tonight. It's going to be a tomorrow night jam. Okay, so the power is slightly longer than the chip there. So I'm going to cut it right there. Okay. And then the ground is ever so slightly shorter. All right. And these two fellas reach all the way across to the end of the little bind button. Oh, they're pretty much there already. Okay. Yeah, they're already kind of the right length. But the ends of the wires look a little bit jank. We'll just leave them. Okay, so this thing is pretty much good. The grommets are going to be the... God damn it. Oh. Okay. This is gonna suck. Here we go. Turning the soldering iron off because I know that this is gonna be a fist fight. Maybe it won't be too bad. It will. So the holes in this Walksnail VRX are odd. They're not M3. They're also not M2. I guess they're M2.5, which is maddening. Ooh, buddy, this is gonna suck. I mean, I guess I don't need to remove these. I do have extra grommets, but usually removing them is not all that difficult. But in this case, it's already fucking with me. Let's try to be a little aggressive with it. Let's like let's pry at them. Oh my god, yeah, no, this is not. The grommets on these things, man. Jesus hell ass. This ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna give this like 20 more seconds of. Some guy FPV says, I know you run your VTX off vbat. I use the 5-volt pad. I had range issues once my voltage got down to 3.5-ish. Do I need to be on vbat for any particular reason? Basically, the thought process behind using vbat versus 5-volt pad is that the 5-volt pad on your AIO, so the battery voltage comes in to the AIO, and then it puts it through a 5-volt BEC, and then it sends it to that 5-volt pad. Well, then you send that voltage into the Walksnail, which is designed to take VBAT, and then it puts that through another 5-volt BEC. And people that are smart with electronics have said that you don't really want to have two BECs in line like that. So yeah, it's really like, it's not going to help anything, right? Like, there's the Walksnail has the BEC. Yeah, I can't do it. I can't get these. I can't get these grommets out. Luckily, I have extras. MoFPV says, "What's up?" Kenneth Robbins says, "Where do you get those grommets? What should I be looking for to buy them?" What should I be looking for to buy them? What does that mean? You can get these grommets all over the place. Most FPV websites sell them. Betaflight sells a kit where they give you black, clear, and light blue. And on these Walksnail VTXs, the black Betaflight grommets fit really, really nice. They're slightly undersized. The little Betaflight kit, the 3 different grommets are slightly different sized. And so, yeah, I really dig it. That kit's awesome. And you get a whole bunch of them in the kit, right? You get like 3 full, you get a set of the clears, a set of the blues, a set of the blacks. So you end up getting a whole bunch of grommets and you can do a bunch of different rigs with them. But yeah, somebody asked if I've used the dental floss trick. I used it a long time ago. And I wasn't really impressed by it. On that goddamn Axis Avata swap that I just did, that almost literally killed me, I had to use dental floss because the grommets are just dumb that they expect you to use, and trying to put them through the carbon fiber frame is just awful. And I was blown away at how good the dental floss trick worked on that build. So I actually left the dental floss up on my desk, and I was going to, it's absolutely hysterical that you mentioned that right now, because I was literally going to start using the dental floss trick on some other stuff. You just run the dental floss through, and then you loop it around the grommet, and then you just kind of pull it through, and in theory it'll work, but yeah, so far it's not really doing what I need it to do. I need it to pull like one side of the grommet through. The problem I have with it is you got to pull like really hard, and I don't want to be pulling this hard on the rubber. Like, I don't want to rip the rubber. Like, this feels like I'm going to rip this grommet right in half. I'm having to pull so hard on this. Let me try a little combination of things here. Let me try to get this thing started a little bit, and then I'll pull it the rest of the way through. Because, man, I'm having to pull hard on this. So let me try getting it started a little bit here with the blunt-tipped tweezers, which is always what I recommend. Just get one side of it started. It looks like it might be getting started there. And now I'm going to try to... Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I got it started. And now... God, you have to pull so hard. It feels so wrong. Oh my God. Ridiculous. Oh, Jesus. This is crazy. Maybe it's best off as a combination move. The dental floss is pulling like the middle of the grommet through. I want to pull like the bottom of the grommet through. I'm sure it would work really well with like an offset. Okay, well, so there's a little bit of a problem. It pulled the grommet all the way through. What I want to make sure of though that it's not cutting through the rubber. It seems like really aggressive. No, it seems to be fine. Nope, it cut through the rubber. Yep. Oh yeah, it wrecked this grommet. Yeah, okay. So yeah, that's what I was afraid of with it. Yeah, that's why I haven't been using it. It cut this thing right in half. Yeah, no. That's ruined now. That sucks. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if I got the maybe if I was able to get like a flatter, wider dental floss or something, and make sure that I put it like dead flat against the rubber grommet, it would be okay. But yeah, I'm gonna do it the kindler, gentler way, and just use the blunt tipped tweezers like I've always done. But this is fuck. I should have done this before the stream. I forgot that I was going to have to do this, to be totally honest. And this is going to be like the rest of the stream now, which really sucks because this is not good content. But my bad. I'm sorry, friends. We're still going to fly. Probably an analog rig, though. I doubt we're going to get this done because this is going to take me a hot minute to get this right. All right. Somebody told me that the heat transfer paste is like toxic or something like that, so I'm going to get it off of here because my fingers are going to be all over this thing trying to get these grommets in, and I don't want to get it all over my hands and then go upstairs and eat and poison myself. So hang on, just getting this shit off of here. All right. All right, cool. So, wow, look at that shiny ass chip. Jesus. Look at how shiny that is. Good Lord. All right, so here we go. Let the no fun begin. I could have sworn that when I was doing this last time, like I'm tempted to try to figure out which stream it was. I feel like last time I did this, figured out a little bit of a secret sort of method to it. I could be mistaken, but so typically what I do is try to get it started with my fingernails, and you're just trying to get a little bit of the actual grommet through the hole here. And so you just kind of pinch it and then stuff it and pinch it and stuff it and pinch it and stuff it. And sometimes you can get it started like that, sometimes not. These holes in this Walksnail VRX are really small. This is really, really difficult. Was the trick to just force... it might have been just to like mash it in there. And then what I do is take these blunt tip tweezers and again, squish it. Oh no, it just popped out. God damn you. Squish it, put it through, squish it, put it through, squish, push, squish, push. Just like on Friday nights. And then once you get a good chunk of it through, you can come through on the other side with your fingernail and just mash it in there. Ooh, boy, this is gonna drive me insane. Let's try one of the easier holes here. Oh, I remember what it was. I remember what the trick is. The trick was I started to use these needle nose pliers. That's what it was. Yep. These worked a lot better. The blunt nosed tweezer is really nice because it makes absolutely sure that you don't cut the rubber, but the blunt nose on the tweezer is not sharp enough to really push enough of the rubber through. So what I've found is these nice needle nose pliers, smooth jaw needle nose pliers here, they're just the right amount of thickness, and yep, it's going. Yep, so it's just a little bit at a time, Squeeze it and push, squeeze it and push. Oh, yeah! I was right. There was this is totally the magical little trick. Yep. And you just got to be gentle and patient. And once you get like more than half of it through there, you're golden. Because then you can just come on top with your fingernail and just pull it the rest of the way through. And like I said, this is sort of just the gentlest way that I've found to get these things through. You're going to push hard on the bottom and then just fingernail it through the rest of the way. Oh, I don't have quite... Hey, it fell out. I don't have quite enough of it through there. Hold on. Let's try this one more time. Yeah, this works way better, though. Because the tips of these little tweezers are nice and sharp. They go right... They can be in the little hole along with the rubber. That's right, I said it. You heard that right. And I stand behind it. Stand behind my statement. Come on. Oy vey! It's still difficult. Still difficult to do. I might try the dental floss one more time on the next one. Come on. It's normally it's not this hard. It's just that these are like M2.5 holes and this is an M3 grommet. So yeah, these Walksnail VTXs rather are the most challenging when it comes to doing this. Ooh, there we go. There was a good bit. There we go. Now I'm getting it. There, get in there, you little bastard. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes. Yes. There it is. And be good in a second here. Come on, you bastard. Get up in there. Go. Yeah. Okay, I think that's enough now. No! It just popped out. Hockey Round says the struggles are real. The struggle is real. Camera fun, please. Thank you, Hockey Rounds. Very cool of you. 52 goes to 57. There we have it. Wait a second. Nope, hold on. That's the wrong one. 57 goes back down to 52. It's this one. This is the one. 135. Oh boy. Ah, that's the wrong button. That's the wrong button. MoFPV says, what flight time are you expecting to get out of the 40,000s on this 65 setup? So the magical thing about super high kV motors is that like we only use that extra kV for like a sum total of 2 seconds through the course of a battery, right? Because when we go full throttle, we only go full throttle for like a split second. So I see barely any difference in runtime going from like 30,000 to 32 to 36 to 40. The Walksnail setup, though, the thing that kills runtime is weight. And the Walksnail setup is heavy. So, yeah, this will get the same runtime that it had on the previous motors. It had 32,000 kV motors for a while, then it had 36s. Now it's going to get 40s. It runs for like 1 minute and 50 seconds because of the weight of the Walksnail, which is not enough. But to get more runtime would require a bigger, heavier battery, and then that would make the flight characteristics worse. So it's kind of a yeah, it's just a situation where like this is too heavy of a VTX. This is too heavy of a camera package for a 65mm rig. Really, is the situation that we've got going on here. But you know, why not do it and torture ourselves? Ooh, oh, you goddamn son of a bitch, you! Ooh. Hockey Round says, can you grab the grommet and pull it back through after sticking the grabber through the flight controller first? No, it won't. You got to push it. You can't pull it. Limit says it's exactly what I did with the Walksnail. Don't worry about the grommets; they'll survive, except for that one. Easiest thing I've found to get the grommets in the holes: ball end hex driver 1.5 or smaller if you have it. Oh God, Metal, you're reminding me. That was the other trick that I recently realized. Kenneth Robbins says, thanks. You're certainly welcome. Yes. Good call. I think the magic was using these to get it started and then coming in with that 1.5 inch hex to push it the rest of the way through. Let's try. So we're going to get started with the skinny tipped, smooth jawed precision pliers. Okay. Just want to get enough in there to where it's got a good starting point. Let's try it from there. And that will come in here. And come on, you bastard. Come on, you little jerk. Get in there. Fingers are starting to hurt from holding this VTX. There's chips all over the damn thing. They're all sharp. I didn't get enough of it through with the pliers. Hold on. You got to like push up on the bottom of the grommet, otherwise it wants to kind of back out. Here we go. I think I got it now. Yeah. There's a bunch more through. There's a bunch more through. Oh, it's going. It's going. Okay, now I have enough through where I should be able to take this and just mash the rest of it. Shit. You have to like keep the pressure on the bottom or it just backs itself out from these tiny little M2.5 holes. Come on, get in there. Whoop, that's it. No, almost. So close. Come on. Go. Get in there. There it is. There it is. Woo! Boy, we got one. My God, man. Yikes, and that's one of the easiest holes to do. Some of these other holes have chips right next to them that make it a lot harder. Oh my God. Okay, hold on. Let's try the dental floss one more time. I think I have another extra couple of grommets. So I'm going to very carefully try to get... all right, so I'm gonna try to keep the dental floss flat. Okay. All right, so dental floss is flat. Put it through in this direction. Okay. Dental floss is still flat. All right. There we go. And so. Oh, okay. So this time, nope, yeah, the dental floss then. I was gonna say that the dental floss sat on the one fat side, just for like a split second though. What if I pull and push? Can I work my fingers out in a way that I can pull and push maybe? All right, so there's the pull. And now can I push as well? No, it doesn't really work. The dental floss is pulling the middle of the grommet through. I don't want the middle of the grommet to go through. I want just one side to go through. Which again is one of the reasons I never had any luck. Yeah, now the whole thing just popped back out. Yeah, I mean I don't know. I don't know about this dental floss thing. Jesus Christ. I can't. I mean, I no. It's not. It's trying to pull the middle of the grommet through. That's not what I want. I want one end of the grommet to go through. These holes are so goddamn small. God damn it, come on. I might be getting somewhere. I mean, all the work that I'm doing is with the pliers. I guess the dental floss is holding it through, but is keeping it from backing out, maybe? Oh, man. sucks putting these into this board. Good lord. Oh, that might be it. Okay. It's kind of just, there's a bunch of like finger gymnastics going on to try to figure out how to hold my finger. It's like I need an extra hand. But that's not really the answer because everything's so goddamn small. An extra hand wouldn't really do anything. All the while, you got to be like super careful because you can knock a component off one of these boards so easily. Hey, there we go. There we go. Okay. We got one. Interesting. All right, let's try again. And now, hopefully that grommet's not ruined. I'm not totally convinced that that grommet is... Yeah, I don't know. I didn't pull super hard this time, though. I was much gentler this time. And I basically just used the dental floss to keep the grommet from falling back out. You definitely can't only use the dental floss, that's for sure. Like, you have to also push the thing through. But if the dental floss will keep the grommet from backing out, that could be good. That one seemed like it might have been a little bit easier than the one that I did a minute ago. But yeah, you can't just yank it through with the dental floss, that's for sure. So, let's try this again. Wrap around here like this. And then like hold the board kind of like that. And then I gotta get this thing started. Alright, so there it is getting started. Nope, popped out. Hello, Teddy Spaghetti! Come here, buddy. Oh, okay, he just left. He didn't want to be spoken to. Alright, so I got the grommet started. I'm pulling with the dental floss. Pushing with the tweezers, pushing with the tweezers, pushing with the tweezers, pulling with the dental floss. These tweezers are the jam, dude. They're not tweezers. They're needle nose pliers. Come here, Teddy. I want to show you off on the stream. Come here. Come here, buddy. I'm also trying to pull with the dental floss sideways. Oh, God damn it. It squeezed itself back out. Shit. Let me try this. Let me just try to mash the whole thing and pull with the dental floss. Nah, it just it really like needs to be pushed through. It seems like. Teddy's just running around. All right, pulling down on the dental floss at this point. Come on, you rat bastard, get in there. I have another one to do after this. Jesus, hell. Oh! God damn you. Yeah, at this point, the dental floss is just pissing me off. Like, get out of the way, everything! The next one I do, I'm going to not use the dental floss, and I'll see if it's any better or worse. It's kind of interesting that it's not letting the grommet pop out, but usually I just use my finger for that, and it's kind of fine. This one's almost in. Now that it's almost in, maybe get it the rest of the way through with the floss. Oh, shit. Oh, it went through. Oh, man. That hurts my fucking hands, too. It went through. I am terrified that I ripped that rubber, though, because it just, like, exploded through. But I think maybe it's okay. It's really hard to tell when the rubber's ripped. I can't really tell, but let me try to do the last one. Unfortunately, this is the hardest one to do because the bind button is right next to it. So this is going to be brutal no matter what, but this will be a good test for the last one. I mean, whatever works for you guys on this. Like, this is a really annoying, difficult thing to do. So if dental floss, if you can get it to work with dental floss, awesome. No wrong answers. All right, so I'm going to use my big dumb thumb. Man, I'm hungry as shit. Stomach is making all the noises. All right, so here we go. Let's get this good. What is with this one? Bigger on one side than the other? No, it's not. Okay, here we go. Get it started. All right, use my thumb to hold it. Jeez, my fingers are killing me from doing this. All right, use my thumb to hold it. Mush it in. Mush it in. Mush it in. Mush it in. Mush it. Come on, you bastard, get in there. Yeah, I like using my thumb better, to be honest. That was the hardest one to do location-wise, and I kind of got it the quickest. But like I said, if for whatever reason the dental floss works for you, do it. Brad Mine has got to go to bed. Hand surgery in the morning. Hope everything goes okay. Cole Power says dental floss trick works better on the bigger grommets. Tiny ones are a bit delicate. Denzilla Terrible says see Cole Powers above. Cole Powers says, oh, Soji Ned with a £5, I think that is, super chat. He says, how sick are you of getting asked the same questions? I plan on starting. Hold on. There we go. I plan on starting and would love your opinion on my buying list. Tag me in a comment and put as much of your list as you can fit. There's YouTube has character limits, unfortunately. But yeah. Also, I'm not the best at like starting setups. I focus more on like I try to be like FPV 102. Like once you're up in the air, I can take you from good to great. I don't know an awful lot about like the super beginner stuff, but yeah, tag me, type CiottiFPV, and then just put a bunch of items from your list, and I'll tell you what I think. I also don't know a lot about a lot of items. Like companies don't send me anything. I have to buy everything, and I tend to buy like kind of higher end stuff because I've been in this world for so long. So no promises, but thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. Tag me and just start dropping items in. Into the chat, and I'll let you know. Cole Power says, don't pull hard on the floss, just keep tension on it to keep the grommet from backing out, then work the other side with pliers and you won't pull it all the way through. Okay, yeah, so that's what I ended up doing. I don't know, it's probably because I'm so used to doing it just the way that I do it that, yeah, I'm there. Northern Tier says, it has to be lighter than an Insta360 Go 2. What are we talking about? Walksnail? Yeah, for sure. Insta360 Go 2 is 26 grams. Walksnail is 6 grams. Thanks again, Hockey Rounds, for the $5. Struggles are real. Camera fun, please. And all right, we're good. Back to it. Dog brought me a toy. He's probably appalled that I didn't play with it. Just appalled. Oh my god, that was brutal. Okay, what was the sequence of the wires? Chad, was it gray, white? I think it was gray, then white, then black, then red. Did somebody type it? I don't think anybody typed it. Wake and Bake, you got to put FPV after Ciotti. You should be able to get it on Thingiverse. All right. Does anybody remember what it was? Gray, white, something, something? Let me look on another Walksnail build. I can probably just look in this. I can probably just sneak a little peek down there. No, it's white, then gray. White, gray... White, gray, then... I probably figured the other ones out. Yeah, the other ones are fine. White, gray, black, red. There it is. We good. White, gray, black, red. White, gray, black, red. Okay. Hey, look what I'm going to use. Yo, a little public service announcement about the Omnifixo. Little tiny screws love to get stuck to these little yellow bastards. I spent about 20 minutes looking for 2 screws yesterday in that goddamn Avata frame swap that I did, and they were stuck to the Omnifixo, and I was ready to absolutely light the whole building on fire, and luckily I didn't have to. So yeah, if you're gonna go Omnifixo and you've got screws that are disappearing, they're stuck to the little magnetic bases. I am kind of digging this thing though. In certain scenarios, it's really, really, really handy. So here we go. White then gray. So these two have to cross over each other. All right. Where am I soldering to? Down there on the bottom? Okay. Let's just lay that up there like that. It should be fine. Soldering iron is off. That sucks. All right, let's give it a second. I'm actually going to do the gray first because it's all the way up against the grommet. The worst possible position. Oh, wait, shit. I need to strip and tin the power and ground leads. That needs to happen right now. Okay. Voltage. Jesus. Stuff is so small. Okay. It's ground. Oh, shit, I didn't pinch that hard enough. Oh, I got away with it, though. All right, power ground. I'm actually going to... These have ends on them, but I'm going to just clip these off to get a little fresh bit of wire. Always seems to be better to lose 1 millimeter of wire length, but get a nice fresh piece of wire. The wire after the solder joint, the individual little wires can start to break, and you don't want that. Shitters. There we go. And actually, that's exactly what was happening here. I'm glad I did that. Okay. I'm just straightening these guys out as I go. Yeah, that axis frame swap Nevada went into the mail. Went in the mail today, and it is going back to its owner. I hope to God that it works. I swear to Christ, if I have to work on that again, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna actually lose it. That was brutal, man. Like, you guys know that I don't like working on. I just don't like bench work at all. That was like particularly brutal bench work. And yeah, like, I don't know. I was already kind of. I was already sort of on the. There's been some shit going on, and like I was already. Sort of at my limit mentally, and then that thing just pushed me over the edge. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure you guys could tell. Last couple of streams have been a struggle. Life has been a struggle for the past like week. It's incredible how like it's incredible how fragile our fucking brains are, basically. Doing this way too close to the board, but fuck it. We're in it now. It'll be fine. Okay, white first. Soldering iron is up to temperature. Just gonna jankily balance this there. Clean the tip because these pads are infinitely small. Actually, no, gray first. Because gray is right next to the grommet. All right, gray next to the grommet. Here we go, little buddy. Actually, I want to flip this upside down so that the wires don't have to have that half rotation on them. It's a little thing, but sometimes it matters. All right, great. Works well. Just balance it, he says. It's fine. You gotta grab these wires with just the tip of the tweezers so that you can sit the wire nice and flat on the board. Okay. There we go. Trying not to melt the grommet. All set. All right, cool. And then white wire, just get it with the tips. Just the tip, just for a little bit, just to see how it feels. What movie, friends? What movie? There we go. White one's good to go. And then, all right, so they cross, but then these guys don't have to cross. I do want to face these forward, though. So we're going to do the ground first. And we are piggybacking these on the battery leads, so you got to be quick when you're doing this. I'm going to pick up a little bit of solder on the tip of the iron and point the wire outwards. And just as soon as I see it melt, I'm going to come off the pad. Because you don't want to push the battery lead down through. All right, that one's good. And then our vbat here, same deal. As soon as you see it melt, get off of there. And the power lead will go even faster. It's not quite where I want it. So I'm just going to grab it again, hold it in place. There it is. Perfect. All right. All set. And now we're going to inspect. But I think we're good. Always do your inspections with a 5x loop. It's the perfect amount of magnification. The nerd goggles are like 2.5x. And they're great. But man, 5x is the jam. So you want to look at the solder joints on the top, but you also want to look at them on the bottom because we're pushing on those battery leads. You want to make sure you haven't pushed those battery leads down and out, and I have not, so we're good. This looks fine, and then TX and RX looks fine as well, so we should be good. There we go. There's the assembly. There's the soldering work down. Now it just needs to get slapped into the thing. Wake and Bake says, I don't have a 3D printer. Luckily, a ton of people in this chat do. There is even over on my Discord a text channel for 3D printing. If you go and put the print file in there, somebody will probably hook you up. Send them some money for shipping, a couple extra bucks for their time or whatever. Yeah, they'll probably take care of you. Can't promise, but Allfax is in the house. He says, I attempted soldering the antenna to the AIO board and nothing, even with the best soldering job I could do. Hoping Newbie Drone will replace them because of the bad connections I got. Interesting, man. God, that sucks. Sorry, brother. There you go. Off axis is already offering to hook you up, brother. Okay. Here's the frame with the motors. We can just blast through the last little bit of this. Drop the AIO down first. This is the easy part. Okay. And now we just need to organize these wires a little bit. This is the really important part, is the wire organization phase. These two boards are going to be very flat against each other. So you really need to make sure that these wires are sitting exactly right. So that nobody's rubbing up against the gyro or the AIO or anything like that. So basically, what I like to do is run these wires like this and just fold them around the edge of the board. And I get the gray and the white to cross up on top of the board. I don't want them to cross under the board, because under the board is where it's really close to the AIO. So just spend some time here just kind of pushing on these wires to get them into the exact right spot. But then don't forget, you got the MIPI plug in here as well. So you got to get the MIPI all plugged in here. So I should have actually done that first. Still wearing the nerd goggles because these goddamn MIPI plugs are so fucking small. Nope, that ain't it. Come on, you little bastard, get in there. Hey, there it is. Felt that nice little click. But I'm always paranoid. I sit here and push on it 18 more times. Yeah, we're good. All right, cool. All right, so that's fine now. Let's just come back to operation. Get the wires to lay perfect. And I think we're about there. Just keep kind of futzing with them and you'll get them just right. And just keep trying to, like I said, fold them around the PCB. And you want to also make sure that you get them free. You want them to fold over up in the corner here, so that they're free of the MIPI plug. If these wires are on top of the MIPI plug, they'll be too thick, and they'll push against the AIO, which you cannot have. So you got to get these wires here so that they're clear of the MIPI. You see that? So yeah, the wires have to go through right here. So you just keep pushing them around this little corner here. Keep making this little bend, and the wires will develop that little bit of like memory that they need to stay in this place. So push down on the top, push down the bottom, keep creasing them over, and then once you push this thing down, you'll be all set. You can give them a little bit of love like that, and then there you go. And that's the way that they need to lay. Cool. And so now you're going to forget about your VTX antenna. That's always fun. Don't do that. Get that guy plugged in. Get him where he needs to be under that canopy. I like to run the MIPI cable under the antenna, and then it drops on like that. And there it is. And now this is the screw that goes in the front with the big head on it. That does not interact with the canopy at all, which is actually kind of nice because you can put this one through first to hold everything in place. So get this guy down through there. There's nothing I can really do about this camera refusing to focus. Just try your best to intuit what's going on here. Eventually it locks focus at some point. Write a strongly worded letter to Logitech if you're upset. There's so much contrast here for the camera to lock focus on. It's absolutely insane that it doesn't. And then just keep pushing down on this. It gives you an idea of how tight you need to get it. You don't want the grommet to like totally balloon up. Man, it is just worthless. Just a completely worthless. There it goes. See, smashing electronics always works. Jesus Christ, come on. There you go with that. And then this is the ELRS antenna. I like to route this guy up into the canopy like that, just to kind of protect it. And you can kind of just scooch it back. Nope. Hold on. There we go. Scooch it up like that. Up like that. Being super careful of the MIPI cable that's in there, of course. They are fragile. All right, cool. And then these are the M1.2 by 12s. I just dropped the one down there for you guys to see. All right, so now we come in here and drop them down. I should probably do the rear one first, but whatever, we're in it. Run those all the way down, grab the post. Don't tighten them all the way yet. And it doesn't like line up perfectly, but you'll get it. You'll be aight. Okay. I'd rather be gentle and like thread them all the way down like that. I know I could just push on it really hard, but that shit freaks me out. Is this screwdriver not magnetic? Well, okay. It's actually kind of nice. I hate when all my tools are magnetic. I'd rather them not be magnetic. But that's hard to do. After you use them on a motor a couple times, they pick up that magnetism and they don't let it go. I have a demagnetizer, but it doesn't work worth a shit. So there you go. There's the screws on, and that's that. And then you got to make sure that these cables are also free of that little back part. You just want the cables to be able to move, right? As long as they can move, they're not being pinched, and you're fine. And so now you just need to mess around a little bit with the tightness of these screws. You want to see these grommets compress, but you don't want them to be like totally squished and like suffering. And what I like to do is push down on the PCB, and then that'll really allow you to see how much compression you have in these little grommets. I try to get these cranked down good. The more you crank these screws down, the more of those plastic posts they're engaging, and that's going to make them stronger. So I would rather this be a little bit too tight than not tight enough. That's actually a little bit too tight. Let's just back that off a little bit. Yeah. And there we go. Front one is still looking good. And then this one, see, that's too loose. See how that grommet comes away from the, here. See how the grommet comes away from the plastic of the canopy? That's too loose. You want to crank that down a little bit. A couple quick turns. You'll see the grommet will start to squish. And see how now it's not coming away? That's what you want. But again, it's better to have them too tight than too loose. Also, you now want to look through the gap and make sure that there's nothing in this gap between these two boards here. See in here where the tip of the screwdriver is? You want to make sure there's a clear path in through there and there's nothing rubbing top and bottom. This is where you get to see if you did a good job with how your wires are laying. But what's nice is when you push down on this, as long as it will push down like that, then that means there's at least a little bit of space in there. So usually you're okay at this point. But oh, and I forgot to change the goddamn canopy to the clear one. That's very annoying. This will just be a ebony and ivory rig, I guess. Well, there we have it. 40 million kV motors on a Walksnail build. I guess I might as well. Oh, I don't even know if this Walksnail VRX is bound. Well, I mean, first and foremost, let's put a battery to it and see if it catches on fire. Motors are not plugged in, but let's just see if smoke comes out. No smoke. Hey! Does the VRX power up? VTX power up? Nope. Yep, there it is. Is it outputting signal that these goggles are going to pick up? Hold on, let's get it unplugged because these goggles take a minute to boot. While we're doing that, let's get the motors spinning. I got to plug the motors in. And then we'll get the motors spinning the right direction. And we'll see what's what. Click Betaflight to get it started. It takes forever to launch lately. Come on. Here we go. Plugging another motor in here. There we go. 2 motors down, 2 to go. Next one. There's Betaflight finally coming up. All right, last motor. Come on! Try to be like ultra gentle on this stuff, but man, sometimes you gotta put some force into it. Okay, there we go. Motors are plugged in. Let's see if they're spinning the right direction. I'm sure they're not. Maybe they are. Never know. Alright, USB. Fighting me, of course. There it goes. And then we're gonna power it up. Hey, the sound of our people. Motors. Motor direction. I understand the risks. Wizard. Start and spin. Motor 1. Wrong. Motor 2. Wrong. They're all going to be wrong. Motor 3. Wrong. Motor 4. Wrong. Stop motors. Close. Motor direction is reversed. Good to go. Propellers are on correctly. Yep. And so we are going to go to PID tuning real quick. Oh, did I save? I hope I saved. PID tune is pretty aggressive. Let's back it off. This is a PID tune for a 75mm build, which you have to be way more aggressive with to offset the motor propeller package not being nearly as good as 65. So there we go with that. Filters look fine. Nothing crazy. Disconnect. Okay. Let's pull power. No. Let's see if there's video. Hey, there's video, but it's upside down. Which I can fix in the goggles. That's fine. I'm going to leave it for now. Unplug it. No, I mean, I might as well fix it right now. Here, hold on. Goggles, settings, camera, rotate. There it is. Rotate 180. All set. Oh my god, Walksnail looks so good. Okay, so here we go. There's this. A little bit of this. This was a working rig, so don't need to bind it, thank God. Antenna is free in the canopy. That's fine. Everything looks all right. Let's do it. Okay, let me get the Walksnail cable. Oh, it's already set up. Hell yeah. All right. BRX and let's see if that just pops up. It should. HDVRX. Now I have to turn that on. There we go. Okay, that should pop up any second. I don't know which module I need. Why is it not popping up? HD60. Yeah, HD60. What? Come on. I don't have to plug the quad in, do I? No. Walksnail should just give me the menu. Oh man, this battery lead is really long because I I built this on the 75. That's I'm gonna have to do something about that. That's ugly. Yikes. Okay, so something ain't working. Let's try power cycling the Walksnail goggles. Maybe they didn't like that I plugged them in while they were already on or something like that. Let's try this. Okay. Here we go. Please work. Elgato, you need to work. You were expensive. And you're supposedly God's gift to all. I gotta get these power leads straightened out here. Give me 1 second. Hey, there we go. That's what we wanted to see. That's what everybody wanted to see. Alright, come on. Get in there. Get in your little homes. Cables. Get up in there. Get up. Get up. Get up. Get up. Get up there. Get up there. You can kind of fish the extra cable leads through this little bit here. That's what I'm doing right now. Makes it kind of a pain in the ass to put the battery through, but once the cables have like a little bit of memory to go up and through there, they'll be fine. Who's that? Maggie? Azalea? You're supposed to be in bed, little boo. Is that you? It's not. Oh man, I'm gonna have to, yeah, this cable situation is a mess. In between every single battery, I'm gonna have to sit here with tweezers and pull these cables up. Ooh, that's gonna get old in a hurry. Yikes. Quad's plugged in. Yeah, that's gonna have to get sorted. Should come up in a second. Oh! A little flip over in a second. Oh! 40,000 kV! Here we go. I got the wrong module in. Oh, nope, no, hold on. It's just not powering the module yet. Let's see if I have the right module in. Come on! Connect. Come on, ELRS. Hey! Woo! 40,000 kV, Walksnail, 65. Here we go. This battery is all the way down at 4.1 volts already. Feels fucking awesome. It feels like normal. These motors have so much kV that even with the extra weight, it just feels normal. Which is troublesome, because that's going to make me fly it normal, and it's not normal. It's heavy. Oh, God. Hi, Teddy. What you doing, little spaghetti monster? Oh, my God, he came right around the corner. Spaghetti monster. He's a spaghetti monster. Man, look at it. It's oh. Look at that beard. Oh, look at those legs. He's getting nice and fluffy again. Oh, God, Teddy. Yeah, it's heavy. I got to remember that it's heavy. Look at it struggling with the incandescent light upstairs. There's also a bunch of latency. The voltage just hit 3.5, so if I flick full throttle right now, it'll probably brown out. You'll see it. Ready? Yep, see it. There you go. So this battery is over, for the most part, because you can't really fly it. Minute and 20. That's actually not bad considering that the battery started off at 4.1. Let's put an actual fresh battery. Sogi Ned with a 10-pound super chat. He says, I'll post the link in Discord under troubleshooting. YouTube doesn't like links. Yeah, YouTube won't let you post links. Sounds good, dude. All right. Fresh battery that hasn't been used to do things. Oh, that battery was also... this battery wire was kind of jacked up, too. Okay, so that might have been a little weird. Here we go. This should be better. This battery should be better. Yeah, I got to do something about this. I have one of the BT 2.0 180 degree leads on here, but it's the cables are just way too long on it, and it's really kind of fucking up. I'm gonna have to do something about that, but that ain't gonna happen tonight. All right, here we go. Hey. Just Mo says, how late am I? Well, I started at 8, so you're 2.5 hours late. Here we go! I'm not Stevie Wondering, am I? Nope, we good. Okay, cool. So, fresh battery. Ooh, boy. Ooh, guy. 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 I don't know what I'm saying. Wow, it's got power... Still crashes like a tiny whoop. Shit! It's really funny, man. The power just makes me think it's a regular analog rig, but then... Oh, God damn you. But then it's got all this weight. Let's try something dumb. Oh, that hit hard. That's heavy, man. As all these Walksnail rigs are. What the fuck? What is happening right now? Where even is it? There it is. Wow, it interesting. I almost want it to have less power, which I could certainly do with throttle limiting, to kind of remind me that it's a Walksnail rig. Although being able to see where I'm going is a pretty decent reminder. Yikes. Yeah, like I have this faux confidence of like, I can do anything. But no, relax. Oh, god damn it. Can I just not hit every single thing? Okay. Apparently not. When you see me hitting everything like that, sometimes it's just because I suck. Sometimes it's because the rig ain't right. Something about the rig ain't quite right. And in this case, it's the weight. This is something I would need to get used to. I'm gonna run this battery down a bunch, see what happens. We're over 2 minutes. But yeah, as I now dig into the throttle, yeah, no, it's at 3.4. This is when you absolutely need to come home. 2 minutes and 15, not bad. So this is exactly what I'm talking about when I say that high kV motors don't massacre runtime. Just because as freestyle pilots, we don't use full throttle very much. We use tiny little blips of full throttle very, very infrequently. So yeah, do not fear high kV motors. They will affect runtime very, very little. Little known fact. But a fact nonetheless. Unless, like, you're racing. If you're racing and you're just pounding the throttle the entire battery, yeah, of course. But, like, for the most part, when you go to a higher kV motor, the only part in the throttle throw where it's going to use the battery more is full throttle. And even if you're, like, hauling ass, you're not hauling ass at full throttle usually. Battery number 3. Woo! Yeah. Yeah, okay. So big stuff like that is what this rig is going to do really good. The extra weight is going to mean that it's harder to hit, like, really small gaps and whatnot. Oh, man. All right. Oh, well. But, like, those big inverted... Those big inverted throws across the room, yeah, that's the jam. And again, if I put a bunch of time into this rig, I could probably get used to the weight. I don't really want to, because the analog rigs are going to fly way better no matter what. And again, with freestyle flying, it's not about the quality of the video as much as it is what you're doing as a pilot. Man. There we go. Woo! A little back and forth action. Okay. Okay. The other thing that makes this more difficult to fly is the increase in latency. Which is the other reason why I'm kind of like, well, Walksnail tiny whoops are cinewhoops. This is fucking cool, though, I will admit. But, like, I don't know, this does not... I'm not having more fun because I can see better. Like, I just don't get this as a freestyle rig. Other than, like, taking this into a store and flying it around the mall or some shit. But, I mean, at that point, it's a cinematic rig, you know? Like, doing digital on a tiny whoop for, like, a hardcore freestyle makes as little sense as doing it for a race rig. You know what I mean? Like, you're just not... Yeah, I don't see any real gain from digital on tiny whoops. We're not... one of the big things about digital that I love on big quads is that big quads go very fast. And when you're going very fast, things come from ahead of you. It helps to be able to see farther ahead when you're going really fast. Tiny whoops do not go very fast. They go very slow. And so there's pretty much no advantage to looking farther ahead other than to pre-plan a line or a route, i.e. cinewhoop. So yet again, we come back to HD tiny whoops are just itty-bitty little cinewhoops. There's nothing bad about that. There's nothing bad about that. But you know, I've been on this kick to make the ultimate Walksnail freestyle whoop, and I'm starting to get to this place where I'm like, no, like we figured it out, cool. I'm now gonna tear it apart and do something with it that it's better suited to do, which is like Cinewhoop work. I think that's where I'm landing with all this. Morton Upshot says, have you tried flying in race mode? Should give you more fixed latency, but at the cost of being 540. Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to drag around all this extra weight, I'm not going to fly it in 540, right? That defeats the purpose. So yeah, I don't think I'm on a new enough firmware for race mode, but even if I was, I still wouldn't use it. It just doesn't make sense. Like, this is not, yeah. If you're carrying around this extra weight, get something for it. So, hey, did I ruin... Here's the next question. Did I ruin this VTX? And it doesn't look like it. 30 on the very bottom, in the middle. 30 milliseconds, 50 megabits per second. That's awesome. So this, yeah, that other VTX is blown up. Removing the, even upstairs... 31 milliseconds, 50 megabits per second. It did just drop on the megabits, but nothing like that other VTX. That other VTX was going down to like 2 megabits per second. So yeah, I managed to remove the heatsink from this VTX without wrecking it. Fuck you. Yeah, this is just frustrating. This is just kind of frustrating to fly because it's so heavy. It's like flying a 75mm rig around. It's just maddening. Because it's just needlessly heavy. But boy, do these motors jam. Jesus. If you're gonna build something like this, you might as well use these motors so that if you want the power, it's there. If you don't want the power, you just motor limit them down in Betaflight, and you've got a regular old set of 702s. Oh, so close. This is, like, everything is hard to fly down here. This is bordering on impossible to fly. Jesus Christ. I'm just hitting everything. Like, every possible thing that I can smash into. Yeah, this ain't it, man. I am gonna leave this together. There's barely any duct in view. This is not for flying at home. Analog is for flying at home. This is for going out. This is for flying out in public. Although, this will be insane at Micro Mayhem. There's tons of multipathing in there, and analog is brutal in that. So this would actually be amazing in there to crush all that multipathing. But the problem in there is going to be I'm going to break this within 2 batteries. That spot is unforgiving on a whole other level. So yeah, this is nuts. Bent FPV says, I've noticed that your OSD summary at the end is different than mine. I'm assuming there's a way to configure it. Yep, it's in OSD, in Betaflight. It's called post-flight statistics. You'll see it. Now that you know that you can do it, you'll see it. So, yeah, flying this like a... So, let's fly it like a Cinewhoop. This is what this is for. Oh, you son of a bitch! Oh, you dirty rat bastard! Wait, no. Oh, you shitbag. So, when you fly this as a Cinewhoop, the latency does not make as much of a difference because You're not doing these like super high speed, super high impact moves, and so the latency becomes a lot less noticeable. It's still there, but yeah. And this is like old school tiny whooping, right? Like this is like brushless tiny whooping. And you can go, you can go a little bit harder than this, but like I'm just trying to make. Jesus fucking Christ! God damn it! It's so frustrating to fly rigs in the house that are this heavy. For me, I'm just very, very, very spoiled by lightweight rigs. They're just so much better. It's so much easier to fly. But I mean, Jesus, 1080-60 from something that's like 32 grams all up or whatever the hell it is. That's just a silly little toy that like nobody's gonna get even remotely mad about. That's pretty rad. That you can fly through the middle of your coffee table. Come on now. Come on now. Unreal. 2 minutes and 12. Yeah, I mean the runtime blows, but this is cutting edge stuff here, my friend. Cutting edge. Last battery. Here we go. We'll fly this one hard. We will fly this one hard. I've also had no durability problems with Walksnail still. The first couple of batteries it was just 8,000 crashes. Some of them were pretty hard. Hater13 says, can you check what would be flight time on Cinewoop flight, like one battery? Yeah, it's going to be about the same. Again, flying hard, you're only using full throttle for like a sum total of 1 second, right? Because we take off and we go full throttle but back. So that was like 1/16 of a second of full throttle, right? So another 1/16 of a second. Another 1/16 on that catch, right? So we're still at less than a half a second. Now we're at half a second of full throttle. But we've got, 120 more seconds. This is all Cinewoop flying. All Cinewoop flying. Another split second of full throttle, right? So there's going to be very, very, very little difference between the two in terms of flight time. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, that's... Woo, nice! Ah! This is tough. Oh my god, that power. I thought I could pull that off. Oh, you fucker! Yeah, this is frustrating to fly, as if you can't tell. This is frustrating. But, I'm spoiled. Remember that I'm spoiled by very lightweight rigs. The really lightweight rigs are just so much more fun to fly. They're so much more rewarding. You land so many more moves. You crash so much less. It's just a much better flight experience. Oh my god. See, it just carried its... Like, I just completely expected it to make that corner, but instead it carried its momentum into the chair like an idiot. Like, I would have to spend a lot of time getting used to a rig that's this heavy. Yeah, see? I'm turning and I'm turning and I'm turning, and it's just not cooperating. It's not turning with me because of all the weight. Ugh. This sucks. This just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to try to fly a Cinewoop like this. and it doesn't go through any of the fucking gates either, so... Yeah, no, this blows. Very cool to take out into the world and fly around, though. This would be very fun at like a mall, you know, like nobody's gonna get pissed off at you flying this at a mall. Minute and 58, flying it pretty hard, but I didn't run the battery down as low on that one. So yeah, that's you know, look, I didn't build these to fly around here in the house. I built these to take out into the world and fly out there, and this will be a blast. You know, this has the power to like go up into the rafters at the mall and then dump it down and drop it like 2 stories down and do like all kinds of fun shit. Tune it, practice it a little bit in the house, but all you're going to do is bang the shit out of the motors and break the frame because it's got a bunch of extra weight behind it now. Yeah. Interesting. I did not think this makes sense. I didn't think all the way through this previously. This is me kind of like realizing what these things are really for live in front of you. But yeah, analog for life, baby. This is boy oh boy, these motors are right at home on this rig though. This is the perfect rig for these 40,000 kV motors. I can't wait to get this out somewhere and do some fun shit with it. Ooh, flies good too. No real tuning. Just, you know, some quick guesses and pretty dialed. A proper, accurate, digital tidy whoop for hardcore freestyle still doesn't exist. Go figure. It's just the weight, man. It's just the weight. It's too heavy. Got to be lightweight. I wish I had one more battery charged to fly one of the analog rigs, but you've seen me fly the analog rigs ad nauseum, so just pull up any other live stream and you'll see what can be done with 6 less grams. HDZero would be a tiny little bit better because it's almost a full gram lighter, and it's got less latency, but it's still too heavy. The 5 extra grams are still too much. It's not going to crash as well. It's not going to be. It's a tiny little improvement, but analog is still going to just mangle it all day, every day. MoFPV says, how do you like to fit these larger cams in the Mobula 6 canopy? It just screws in. There's holes on the corners, and this Mobula 6 canopy is very specific for the Runcam Nano 3, which has holes in the exact same spots. So it just mounts exactly. Like if you get one of these canopies, it'll come with the mounting plate and the screws, and there's no way to put it together wrong. It's just, yeah. C. Will says, got my ultimate freestyle whoop down to 17.5 grams. It flew amazing already. Now it's nuts. Yeah, man. Sub 19 gram tiny whoops are the way, hands down. Some guy FPV says, I'm glad I'm not the only one aggravated by the why whoop snails fly. I'm pretty corners can be cut to get the weight sub 23 grams. Still too much. When tiny whoops were more than 20 grams, I remember this. When tiny whoops were 20, 21, 22 grams, it was this. It was just, you miss everything, you hit every single gate, you don't go through any of the gates. Once we came down below 20 grams, everything started to change. And now that we're down into the 18s and the 17s, it just keeps getting better. The Mobula 6 2024 is the perfect example of that. Go watch the first stream that I did with this and watch like the first couple of batteries. I was hitting everything, like every gate that I threw this at, it would go through, and it was so much fun. And it's the weight. This was the first sub 18 gram rig that I'd flown, and it was just so obvious. Yeah, man, lightweight for this like hardcore freestyle shit inside the house is absolutely so important. MoFPV says, sorry, I meant the lens. It just hangs out Snuffleupagus style. You do have to grind a little bit of the, you have to grind away with a file a little bit of the outside of the opening here. Focus, you asshole. There's so much contrast for you to focus on, Logitech. There's nothing but contrast there. It's bright fucking white and... Oh my god, you piece of shit. There it goes. Oh my god, no, there's not enough light for you to be able to see it. Right around the outsides here. Oh my god, I hate you. I hate you. Right around the outside. Oh, fuck. Right around the outsides here, you have to grind away a little bit of it because the locking ring on the camera will rub, and you won't be able to get the up tilt all the way down. So yeah, you just spend a little. There, you can see it. You spend a little bit of time with a file. Just remove a little bit of material down here. You'll be good. You'll see what I mean. All right, friends. Enough anger. Jesus. Cranky, man. I'm hungry. I'm fucking hungry. I get angry. I'm hangry. Ultimate Walksnail Freestyle Tiny Whoop. Do not recommend. Unless you're going to take it out and fly it places, then I recommend it. This is going to be fun. I'm going to do some cool shit with this. Just don't expect to rail around the house with this. Cool? If you do, you're going to get frustrated. Unless you're used to really fat 65mm rigs. Or if you're used to 75mm rigs, then you'll probably be fine with this. But don't do that. Get used to lightweight 65mm rigs. Your life will get so much better. Denzel says, use the phone. That was good. Yeah, it's true. That's true. I should have. Just Mo with the last live stream, comment of the live stream. He says, any experience or opinion on RCinpower GTS 0802 25,000s on HDZero Meteor 75 frame? Nope, I've not run that motor, but what I can tell you is that on my HD 75mm build, 802 25,000 kV wasn't enough. Also, those motors only have a 1mm motor shaft, and the weight of a 75mm rig and the extra weight of an HD rig is going to wreck those motor shafts pretty quickly. So yeah, what you realistically need for good durability, although it depends. If you want to freestyle it and crash it a lot, what you need is a 1.5mm shaft motor. Tiny Whoop has them. They're not in stock at the moment, but yeah, they make an 802 25,000 and an 802 27,000. You want the 27,000 for sure. And yeah, that's about it. Although I have heard that those RCinpower 802s use a better material for the motor shaft, so that 1mm shaft might be a little bit more resistant to bending, or maybe you don't crash a lot. So yeah, you could probably get away with those. 25,000 kV is kind of almost just barely enough, but not quite enough. I would really want 27,000. Mine is on 33,000, and it's still not even enough. So yeah, 25,000 is just barely enough. But I would hold out for the iGal motors here that are 27,000. That's gonna be a step in the right direction, and you're going to get the 1.5mm motor shaft. So those are my thoughts on that. Thanks for hanging out, friends. CiottiFPV.com is how you can support me. I'm completely crowdfunded so that all the stuff that I test, all the products that I review, you're paying my bills. So if they suck, I tell you they suck. If they're great, I tell you they're great. I'm not worried about a manufacturer not wanting to send me more things because I said their last batch of stuff sucked. So help a brother out, and we'll keep the good knowledge coming. Patreon helps me out the most. You can join for as little as $3 a month. That's 10 cents a day, or like 7.5 cents per hour of live stream content that I do. Etsy, you can buy some fun stuff. Teespring, you can get some shirts like this one. A bunch of affiliate links. If you're doing an order on the internet and you're not using an affiliate link, you are hurting someone that makes content that's free for you to watch on YouTube. Try to use affiliate links. Peace and love with a $4.20 weed number super chat. Thank you, homie. He says, gangly gang. Ciao, brother. Ciao to all of you as well. Speaking of cool thing, so here's an example of what this rig will do beautifully. and what I have done with it back when it was on 22,000 kV motors, with these 32,000 kV motors, with these 40s, it'll do this even better. And I cannot wait to get it back into a spot like this. Was this, am I thinking of last year? Yeah, here's an example of what this rig will do better than anything. Monster Jam, Avatar. Here you go. I had the GoPro settings all wrong. Not GoPro, Walksnail settings all wrong. This is the first time I did it. This is the first time I flew this rig, I think. But yeah, here you go. This is what this thing is for. This is why I've been working on this thing. Hold on. Here you go, my friends. I'll see you guys Friday.